Okay, so we have kicked off the weekly webinar here. Apologize if there's been some strange background noise. I was just finishing up a call um, and got into this a little bit late. So far we've got. Let's see how many people have joined here. Okay, we just got one attendee, so we're going to wait a few minutes, see if some more folks join up, and then what we'll do is I have an idea for a topic today, and otherwise we can, see who's here and who's got some questions on some how-to questions that we can address. Um, Apologize for the last-minute change of topic. We're not going to be talking about the well, I sent out a message to everybody just letting you know that just due to some feedback, we've done enrollment management for a few weeks, and it seems like people have want to move on into other topics at this point. So even though I sent out some messages that we were going to continue on that, it seems like the hope is that we'll move on to other things. And there's so many other things to talk about, so why not? Um, let's see here. So I'm just going to mute myself for a few minutes while we wait for a few more people to join up. Okay, Bracha, we'll let you go ahead and let us know what you want to cover today, and that'll be the topic for today. So you've got specific questions. Are they going to be about like specific to your to something happening on your site, like a campaign on your site, or just to make sure that this is the right format? So yeah, Bracha, I can't hear you, but to make sure this is the right format, because if this is something that is really specific to your school, and might require like me going in and seeing something, then it might make sense to just hop off at a later point and do it as a one-on-one session. So let me see. It's about parent-teacher conferences setup. Okay. So what is your question about setting up parent-teacher conferences? And actually, Bracha, what I can do is I can actually let you, since it's just you, I can, um, you can actually, I can invite you to be a speaker. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then you can actually talk so you don't have to type everything because that might get a little painful. So you should get an invitation to become a speaker here on the webinar. There we go. And Bracha, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. We can hear you, but we don't see you. We just see
Yeah, no, there's been a problem with my camera, but I also need to go into another room because there are a lot of people around here. So
okay.
I didn't quite know, I didn't realize that happening. Okay, yeah, I'm actually, I mean, if you know stuff about computers, maybe you'd know, but I've been having problems with my webcam for a while, so I'm not sure what that is.
Okay, well, we can, I don't think we need it for for this, but yeah, I'm always here to help in any way we can, for sure.
Okay, I'm just seeing the like the call page right now. Not anything specific, but I wanted to ask you about like parent-teacher conferences and how I could, maybe I'll just open that in a separate tab, and how I can just send some kind of link for parents to be able to sign up, and then when they sign up, you know, that time slot is no longer available and it can go to the next one available.
Okay, and so are you, let's just see, on your site, are you currently set up doing that with the appointments? Or are you, because there's two ways of doing that. You can do that with the appointments feature, and you can also do that with a form, actually, where you can create a form that has those options limited as well.
So what do you recommend? Because I'm not really using either of those.
Okay, so what I recommend depends on how you guys, so parent-teacher conferences is really great to do with forms.
Okay.
It works great in the appointments too, but you know, a lot of people like to do it on forms as well because the appointments feature is it's harder to learn. It's a little bit more powerful, but for parent-teacher conferences, because it's so specific, it's really nice to have a bit of a simpler way of implementing it, and that can be done on the form. So we can definitely run through that, and you'll get a sense as to how to do that.
That'd be awesome. Can you, like how you did with the workflow, can you display that on this screen?
Yes, yeah, I'll be doing that in a moment.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So are you seeing the Hublyville demo site now?
So I'm gonna, if I X this, I hope I don't lose you, but
You can always come back in.
Okay, so I'm gonna, because right now all I'm seeing is, oh, maybe I need to click this.
Yeah, if you click on
Yes,
my
okay, I
image,
clicked
there
on
you
you.
go.
Got
Perfect.
it.
All right, and that's what everybody should be seeing. And Pat, can you just confirm that we're showing the right screen?
Yes, you're showing the right screen.
Okay, beautiful.
Also, Emma just joined us too.
Okay, hey Emma. So what we're gonna do today is talk about how to use forms to set up parent-teacher conferences. So I'm gonna first go into forms. I'm just gonna do this from scratch. Oh, sorry, I'm actually gonna go into the dashboard into forms.
Yeah, that was my first question. Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and click new form. And we'll call this parent conferences for Bracha. And we can actually set this up for you guys with your dates, and I can even just afterwards I can export it and import it right into your site, so it'll be all done. So let's see here. So this is how we start off with every time you go to create a form, and we'll just do some standard fields. I'm going to assume, yeah, so we'll do students. So when we click that, that'll allow that'll create the drop-down student selector. So since your site should have that all set up already, we'll do that, and we'll call this student, or select student. There we go. And also, guys, just if things seem a little bit janky, like when we're doing this over a screen share, things move a little slowly and can kind of mess up a little bit because it really takes a lot of the juice out of the browser. Okay. And then what we can do is, so what dates are you holding your parent-teacher conferences?
We are holding them next week. Just trying to pull up the exact date. The 27th through the 2nd.
So then we're going to add a date field. We're actually going to make this available only to certain dates. So you said the 20th?
27th. Sorry,
20th.
the following week.
27th. And then through the 2nd?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So now what's going to happen is we're going to, now what sessions are you, like what are the time slots?
7:30 p.m. until 9:30 p.m.
And every half an hour?
Um, Can we do every 15 minutes?
Yes, you can. It'll
Or,
just
like,
be
I really, ideally, we would do 20 minutes. I don't know how
Yep.
that would play out, though.
Sure. So we're going to add a radio button.
Okay.
So it'll be okay, so it's between 7:30 every 20 minutes. So we'll get this started. And so basically this can be very flexible. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to say enable limits, right?
Okay.
So each one of these options, so we're going to have to make one of these for each one of the days, right? And then what's going to happen is, depending on the day that's selected in the calendar, one of these lists of session options will show up. And then as they get selected, that becomes unavailable to somebody else. Okay, so the first day is going to be, is it Monday the 27th?
Yes.
Monday, February 27th. Okay, so we'll say this is 7:30 p.m. and then the next choice would be 7:50 p.m. and then the next choice would be 8:10 p.m.
And then
You
can we
said-
add more?
Yes, you can add more. You can add as many as you want.
Just that little plus. Okay.
Yeah, and so that's how you do it. So we'll add a couple more. 8:20. Sorry, 8:30. We've got 9:10. Oops. Then you'll have
Perfect.
9:30.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oops. Oh wait, it goes up until. So that's the last one.
Yeah, that could be fine.
Okay. All right, and we'll add one as the limit here again. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So I'll get this first one set up so you see how this works. So then we're going to go to advanced and add conditional logic. And the date is wait a second.
That's for.
Month, day, year. So we'll go take a look at this form. Just preview it actually. Well, we're actually going to want to include a couple more things, right? So the student, this is the student, but the parent. So what we could do is have, I'm going to bring over the single line text. And so that's the student, but then what we're going to do is have parent, parent. And actually, we'll have this this field automatically populated by the user's login. So their username will show up here. Actually,
As
what
soon
we
as
can do.
they, like if they go to do it, their username will pop up.
Sorry, their username, their display name, yes, which would be
Uh-huh.
generally their first and last name, will just show up in here.
Okay.
But they have to be logged in for that, right?
Okay.
So, and you would want them to be logged in. Parent-teacher conferences is in general a form that you'd want to require a login for. Is there any other information you'd want? Well, what we'd actually also want to collect is an email, so that there can be notifications that go out. So I'm adding an email field. So we'll call this parent email. And this will also dynamically populate by the user email. So they don't have to type this in. And the truth is, this can even be hidden from them. It's just you want to collect it when they enter this, so that you can actually send like a confirmation email, or you can send a reminder.
So in order to do that, like to send the reminder, is that something that we can set up that it automates, or we would log into each one, use it, and then send the reminder?
Both. So the one real advantage to the appointments tool, the actual dedicated appointments tool, is that it sends out reminders automatically. So you don't have to set that up, and you don't have to like trigger them. With and the one real difference is that like you do have to set it up, meaning you set up like how you want the system to send reminders, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
1 day before, or 2 hours before, or 1 hour before, type of thing. And you can send as many as you want, and it'll just send the reminder email that's pre-configured, which is good. But what you can do with a workflow here is we can add like workflow steps to this to send a confirmation, and then we can set a notification to go out by a specific date. Now, the one downside to doing this with the form is that that date is like we can't set it up to send out a reminder 2 hours before the date they selected.
Okay,
which would happen on the appointments feature. So what you can do is you can create a conditional notification that gets sent out depending on what date was selected, and you can trigger that anytime. It could be you can actually set up reminders to go out for every date that was selected, right? It just takes a little bit more work. It's a little bit more manual configuration for those. So you'd have to select, so there's 5 dates, right? Monday, or is it Monday,
4 days,
Tuesday,
yeah,
Wednesday?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, so you'd have to create a notification for each one of those dates, right? And then in that notification, we just specify anyone that selected this date gets this notification at this date, like this date and time. So
would there be and like the reminder, I'm not as like, especially because it's such short notice, like it's not like someone's planning this now for May, so I don't even know if I'm concerned about a reminder email going out as much as like a confirmation it went through. Like when they log in,
that can be set up for every person that fills this out, they can get a confirmation email.
Yes.
And anybody else also can, like
the teacher, can
Yeah.
the teacher get it? That like, okay, every time someone goes on and, books the 8:10 appointment got booked for my classroom with More Miriam. So then she'll get a notification from Hubly, and it says, Hannah's mom booked 8:10.
Yes, for every teacher, they would need to have, again, if you wanted to go to specific teachers, we would have to create a notification. There would have to be some pre-selection that that notification was based on. Like you'd have to maybe set up a like a teacher list. So like the parent could say, like we could add a drop down, right?
Uh-huh.
And have the list of teachers that that are being booked, right? And then
Well, I think only like each classroom, I think, can only log into their classroom. Is that right? I don't know if that matters.
do you mean by parents? Oh, so
Yeah, like
okay,
the
let
parents
me
can
ask you
only
something. Sorry, let me just take a step back. Is this form meant to be used in your head? Was this form meant to be used for like let me rephrase the question. The dates, you know, these sessions on Monday, you know, from 7:30 till 9:30. Was
Mhm.
that do you need this for every date for every teacher, or is it like ca- is it broken up like Mondays for this teacher, Tuesdays for that
No,
teacher?
the teachers are all going to be there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they'll be
Okay.
running parallel.
Okay. So then
There
we
actually will
okay.
be two sets
So
of parents at 7:30. You know, one in one classroom, one in the other classroom, because we have two classrooms right now.
it's just two different teachers.
Right.
Okay. So we would need to duplicate this form, right? And then and but so meaning like this form would be for this teacher's dates, and this form would be for the other teacher's dates.
Right.
So after this gets set up and we set it up for one teacher, we can just clone it, and then all we'd have to change is the notification and what teacher the notification goes to.
Okay. Okay.
So, but like, and so this is the thing where you know, we're getting into things that are very specific about your school, which is totally
Yes.
fine, and it's a great example to anyone else that would watch this after, is that this is why the forms are advantageous. Like, you know, it can really be set up for anything. It's also, you know, it also means like you have to get used to how it works and figure out like what your options are.
Mm-hmm.
So again, just to know, so I didn't ask you, I didn't have like the foresight to ask you if we should do this form for all teachers or for specific teachers. And you know, and there are ways of making one form work for all the teachers, and it all kind of just depends. So this is the type of thing that we'll often work with, you know, our customers on like this, to do a session just like this and figure out exactly what your needs are and kind of set it up that way. So just to like, you know, kind of complete this process.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got parents' username will display there. Their display name actually will show up there. Their email will show up there. And that's probably all the information we need to grab from the parent, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go ahead and update this. So this is what that form would look like right now. So you'd go in and now you would the parent would they wouldn't see these lists of programs. They would just, when a parent logs in, they just see like their students.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm actually logged in as Naomi right now. So why don't I actually log out and then log in as a parent? So it actually looks like it will. So I'll find a parent user here. I think I've got one. Oh no, parent, I think.
Isn't it
Oh,
fun to wear so many hats?
I do
Oh,
wear so many
literally.
hats.
I said that before I saw the picture.
Go back to that form.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what it looks like from a parent's perspective. So this is a user in the parent role. I don't get to select from programs because I'm not a teacher or a staff member. These are my students here. So Leora is my student, my child, not my student, my child. My name pre-fills here, and so does my email address. And then I'm going to select from an available date. So the only ones that are available here in February are the 27th and the 28th. And because I
Awesome.
selected the 27th, I'm selecting 7:30. So now when I select 7:30, so watch, I'll go ahead and submit that. Now the confirmation is just going to be the default one, so we would change this on your site, and to be anything you want. But if I go back now to the same form, let's refresh that. Now if I select the same date, 27th, 7:30 is no longer there because it was selected already. So the next parent that came in, now you can set that to be available to 2 or to 3, but like we set it to each one of these options only had 1 slot available. So because I already submitted 7:30, it's removed from the list.
Nice. That's exactly, yeah. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
what it removes it instead of like it indicating it filled, it's just totally gone, which is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. That's perfect. So, I mean, I've been like jotting notes as fast as I can as you're writing this,
Sure.
but I think you may have said at the start that we can actually go ahead and set this first one up for you. Do you still mean that?
Well, yeah, so I started already. So
Awesome.
yeah, so so basically what we would do is, and let me just show you how quick that is. So I'm gonna log back into my
Or,
role.
I mean, honestly, I would love to like, because I'm just watching right now and writing, but I would love to, and maybe this would just be in a private session, not on your webinar, like log in and walk through it with you so that you can see my screen and I
Well,
can view
that's
it.
our preferred way of helping you, not just because we
Yeah.
really try not to just do it for you, but rather walk you through it so that you're good for the next time.
Yes.
So certainly, I think that makes sense. Why don't we, schedule a session at support.hubly.com, and we'll any one of the support team members can do that with you, and
Okay.
but just so you know, like since we've got a few more minutes here, like I can get it a little bit further along, and then I don't mind like what I've set up here. I can just take that form and import it into your site.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so it's like it's partially done. But if I go back to that form here, go back to edit. So if we wanted to, so we got the date selector already set up, and if we want to, so the hard work is kind of done already. It's going to be the same sessions, right, for every date?
It's going to
Session
be what? I'm
times?
sorry, the last.
Same session times for every
Yes.
date? Okay, I'm just going to click this little icon here that duplicates that.
Okay.
All right, now I just have to go in and edit this one now. So this will be Tuesday, February 28th. Right, and then so all that's the same, limit is to 1, and when I go to advanced, I would update the conditional logic to be the 28th rather than the 27th. So again, we could do the same thing for, I guess, Wednesday, March 1st, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go and edit this one, Wednesday, March 1st. Well, that's the same, go to advanced, under conditional logic, change the date. There we go. So that's done. Now if I go ahead and edit this, sorry, I mean update it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to leave 1 for you to do.
And then if in the future we wanted to do another set of conferences in May, can I use this exact same thing and just change the dates?
Yeah,
Or are
exactly.
they already filled in?
No, you can duplicate that form. It won't have any entries. When you duplicate a form, it's just it's starting from scratch. So whatever settings are there, it'll be you just
that.
start, and then you change the dates and everything. Yeah, so that's what's also great about these forms. You set them up once, and you can keep reusing them, and changing them for the specific dates or scenarios. So I'm back logged in as a teacher. I'm going to go back to that form. Where is that form? No. Okay. Not gonna be able to do it there. Okay, so I'll just go to the Forms tab. This was so many forms on here. There it is. Oh, I think I've got to update the settings on the form. Yep. Okay, just cleaning up the permissions here from this form. So just FYI, like if you ever, the form has, the actual form that you can input and fill out, and then there's the entries.
Mm-hmm.
And the entries, so there's a list on the front end of where the form buttons are. There's a button to see the actual entries list. So here you can actually set what roles and also what specific users have the ability to see either only their entries or everybody's entries. And then there's permissions to modify, meaning update or edit their entries or other people's entries. So things that like you can do as an administrator per form, you might have like a parent volunteer that needs to be able to go in and like see all the entries of a particular form, or actually be able to go and update or edit entries of a particular form. So yeah, you can actually select like an example would be like parent, like there's like we've had there's this one parent that actually manages, like helps, like comes in and volunteers and helps manage the enrollment process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she needs to have access to you want to just select that one specific user. So these
Right.
4 here are users allowed to view their existing entries, and then users allowed to view others' entries. So you would select that person
Mm-hmm.
from the users list, whoever that is. This gentleman and parent guy, he can actually go in and see all the entries, that for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
So just something to know, since we're in this section. I always like to touch on it because it really can help in different scenarios.
Okay.
So I'm just updating this for a moment here, and then I'm going to go back to switch back into this parent role. Now the browser's getting a little confused because I keep switching in and out, and this is where cache becomes a little bit of an annoyance sometimes. There we go. So where is that form? Okay, so I'm in as a parent, selecting for my child, student number 2, and I'm going to select Wednesday now, or Tuesday, I mean. Or no, I'm going to select something else. I'm going to select Wednesday the 1st. So now Wednesday, March 1st options show up.
Uh-huh.
So, and then
Okay.
on and on. And then, like I said, so we can import this into your site, and then walk you through setting up the the last one for Thursday the 2nd, and then also like some notifications depending on what your needs are. And we can even
Okay.
show you how to duplicate it, and change the notification to the different teachers depending on which form it is.
Okay. That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, this is really, really good. how do I go about getting it set up? Should I log into Hubly and like click on that little icon on the bottom to set up a session?
Yeah, that would be the fastest, easiest way for you to do that.
Okay.
So just what you do is you go to support.hubly.com.
Okay.
And I just sent you the link too as well, Brocha.
Oh, thanks, Pat. We got to get Pat used to speaking Hebrew a little bit.
Oh,
Get
sorry
the
about that. I just said I just sent her the link as well. So
Oh.
sorry. It's on its way to you.
Okay, so yeah, so you go to support calendar. You've got the link, but just in general, this is where you go, and then this is where you can select a session with whoever's available. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right, guys. So I hope this has been helpful, and for everybody. And there'll be a replay that goes out. And yeah, so
Wow.
we'll wrap it up for today, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.